Hello, it's Markham Torch here from Markham 3D, and today we're going to continue on with this Tie Interceptor as part 2. Now, if you want to support the channel, please watch it from start to finish. I have made this available for download, and there is a link in the description. And if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's continue on. In this section, we're going to work on adding the panels and doing some of the greebling to bring the ship actually more to life. So let's first start off. I'm just going to actually select here and let's just put in a mirror modifier on that one to bring it over to the other side. Let's work on the wings and bring these panelings to life. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to Shift D to duplicate this wing. And actually, how about we rename them? So the plane, we will call this wing. And then plane 2, we'll call wing underscore panels. Now I'm actually going to hide the wing itself for now, and just so we work on this section, let's press numpad 3 to go into this view, side view, and tab to go into edit mode. Let's go into wireframe. So what I'm going to do is actually just start off by lining all these up. We can see that this is crooked because of this line, this edge here. Let's go scale Y, so it kind of lines up, and we'll go G to the Y and move that across. And so I'm kind of going to try and map out, to block out where the panels are actually going to be. Let's do Control R, and we will put a line in there. Let's do Control R, put a line through this point. And then from here, let's select here, select these 4 vertices, GG to move it along the normals. There we go. Do another edge loop with Control R, bring that to about there, and let's select these 2 vertices, and I'm going to go GG. Whee, whoa, 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 whoa. All right, let's do it independently then. Select this one, GG, to about there. That looks nice. And then let's kind of just line that up just to make sure that these are all straight. That's fairly straight. Let's go with that. Let's put another edge loop that sits through here, another edge loop that sits through there. That's looking good. I will grab this vertex in here. Let's go GG, bring that over. There we go. So we've got our panels 1, 2, 3. Now inside panels are a little bit different to the outside panels, because on the inside, if we have a look at this picture, we've got this section in here. So we'll come back and we'll fix that a little bit later independently. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press numpad 3, alt right click, and then we'll select this edge, this edge. Let's select these edges. We can get rid of this section in here. Whoops, select all that section. Let's get rid of that and that. And if I go delete faces, now we're left with these panels. What I can do now is I can increase the thickness to something like that. Let's unhide the wings. And there we go. Now we've got our panels. Now here we're going to use some creativity, I guess. From here, what I'm going to do is select our panels again. Let's go tab into edit mode, into wireframe mode. And with everything selected, I'm going to press I to do an inset. And I'm just going to give it a very small border. Does that cause problems here? No, it doesn't. Oh, beautiful. So we left enough room to create this border. Because what's actually going to happen is we're going to have like a steel border coming around these panels. And then the black panels will actually be situated inside. So let's press tab to go into object mode. Let's go back into solid mode. And what I'm going to do now is apply my solidify modifier. So now we've got pieces on the inside and the outside. Let's fix this section in here now. So I'm going to do Control R to put in an edge loop through there. And while we're here, I'm just going to do Control B to put a bevel in there, so it gives it kind of 2 edges. And then if we have a look back into this photo, we can see that it sits on an angle. So we actually might need to chop this piece in half. So we select there and right click. Okay. I'm going to press V to rip it. And then now what's going to happen is I've got control over here. I think what we might do is maybe let's just delete all those faces. There we go. Select here, delete. Sorry, Control L to select everything that's linked, and we'll delete vertices. But we've got this free space down here. So what we might do is I'm just going to put, let's think about this. So I need to kind of like cover this section off. Maybe what we'll do is select this, Control L, hide. We'll select here and go face. No, No. All right, let's do that again. So let's select this edge and go delete vertices. Select here, Control L. Let's go into front view, E to extrude to about there. Delete that inside face. There we go. That's looking better. Now I'm going to come in and select all these vertices. And we're going to guesstimate probably to about Y, to about here-ish. So I'm going to kind of go off that 45-degree angle. Let's grab these probably pieces down here, C, and we'll go G to the X, sorry, GY. So they sit something like that. And let's grab these, C, and we have to be in wireframe mode to select everything behind. GY, yeah, that looks about equal. This doesn't look equal, so let's go C, grab all that, and GY. How's that looking on the inside? So we've got this massive panel on the outside, there we go. And then we've got these two little panels on the inside, 45 degrees, that's looking good. Nice. So from here, let's go back into these. I'm going to select our faces. There we go. Alt H, because we're missing some. So let's do that again. Whoops. And these faces, and let's select these ones. From here, I'm going to come up into individual origins. Let's extrude, and we're going to go in a bit. So something like that. And now you can kind of see that we've got this border going around the panels. We've got a bit of an issue here. So let's go Control Z, undo all that. This is part of that, what we were doing before. So let's turn on clipping, and I'm going to delete that face. And there should be one on the bottom here. Where are you, buddy? In there. Delete face. Let's Alt left click on that edge, because at the moment we can see that it's got a bit of an angle. Because I've turned clipping on, I can just go G, Z, and push that all the way down. Nice. Now let's come back in and select our faces. So C, 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 and C. So we've got all our panels. E to extrude, and we're back on the wrong pivot point. So let's go Control Z, go up here, back into individual origins, E to extrude, extrude them in. Do we have that little thing there? Nope, so that's good. So we've got those panels looking all good. From here, if we have a look at the wing, we can kind of see there seems to be some sort of radius on here. So let's come in and Shift A, let's add in a cylinder, rotate X 90 degrees. Why is that? Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Let's go Shift A, let's add in a cylinder, tab into edit mode, rotate X 90 degrees. And I'm just going to scale that. Let's kind of put it right on that wing. Where is it? I think it's about there. Yep, I was pretty close. GY. Yeah, see here there seems to be some sort of cylinder. I don't know, it could be part of the whatever this section is. Where does it shoot from? Anyway, let's grab that. Let's go GY, and we'll bring that all the way back. Let's have a look at the side image. I don't know, it goes a little bit, but then we've got some pipage. So we can add some pipage in a sec. Let's go with that. Add modifier. Let's throw on that mirror modifier on the X and the Z. There we go. That's looking good. And then we can now add in this piece here on the end. So let's kind of grab our cylinder. I'm going to just select the face. Let's go Shift D, G to the Z. And you can see kind of really good reference here. So it's actually more like a cube with rounded edges. So let's go with that, I say. Let's delete that face there. I'm going to select here, Shift S, cursor to selected. Let's now Shift A, add in a cube, and we'll scale that down. And I'm just going to be using this as a reference. Let's go GZ, scale that in. Something like that. Looks pretty good to me. And scale on the Z. Let's go GZ. And we'll select this face in here, GY. And then we'll go GY, put that in there. Nice. In there. And then I'm just going to kind of round these edges, Control B to do a bevel. All right, that's not looking too bad. And then we've got kind of this little, almost like a barrel. So let's select our face in here again. Shift D, scale that in, G to the Y, E to the X, and let's make it a barrel. So I'll just go I to do an inset, E to do an extrude. There we go. So maybe what we might do is, rather than, I was going to say we could probably tilt it maybe a little bit, but I actually think maybe it's just too wide. Let's go scale on the X, something like that. Yeah, to me that looks nice. Let's press right click, shade smooth, come over into object data and auto smooth. That's not too bad. Now we can just see that we've got some sort of like cables that run around here. So the question is, how do we want to do these cables? So we've got multiple ways of doing it. We can use the spin tool, but it might be a little bit difficult to match the angles. So maybe let's first try a Bezier curve. So let's go Shift S, cursor to world origin, Shift A, curve, Bezier, and then let's just go tab into edit mode. Let's go G, X, and let's see if we can line that up. So we'll get it straight first, rotate Z 45 minus. From here we'll select this one. Let's just go rotate Y 90 degrees, and we've got individual origins still selected. So let's come up here and go medium point, rotate Y 90 degrees. We'll make the cable kind of come out of here. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Let's go GZ, bring that to about there. I will scale it down and bring that, line that up so it sits about here-ish. Let's go GZ and we'll put it about here. I'm going to scale that down. Where's my other piece? In here. Let's scale that one down. And then from here, we can press E to extrude. I can't even see it. Oh, it's all the way over there. Let's line it up with the side here. G to the X. What we can do is come over to geometry and let's just go into solid mode. I can give it some depth. There we go. So now it's an actual pipe. For now, I'll leave the resolution at 4. We might change that a little bit later. So from here, let's come into wireframe. I'm going to press E to extrude and let's go rotate to about there, and then we can line that up. So now we've got that pipe coming through. Let's just move it a bit closer, and then we'll move that one to about there. Cool. And from here, let's go E to extrude. That's sitting on, there we go. So that's the line here. So you have to remember this is our panel. And so if we kind of look at it, we've got that pipeage now coming through. On the inside, looks like a different type of pipe. But what we'll do is we'll make this pipe come this way and down and around into here, because we see something coming around and kind of ending there. So let's do that. So we'll continue this up. Let's go into front view, and we're just going to be kind of lining it up. Let's scale that in a bit, because now when I go Shift D, sorry, now I press E to extrude, rotate 90 degrees. That's not exactly what we want. So we're going to have to, yeah, let's go rotate 90 degrees because that should be correct. Bring that in like so. There we go. So let's go here. Kind of just make it all pretty, as close as possible. E to extrude on the Y. Boop. I reckon this pipe might actually be a little bit too big. Let's go maybe 0.05. 0.005. There we go. I think that looks much better. So before we go any further, let's just select that. Let's go G, X, push that in. And then we'll check this corner down here. We can just select all this, B to box select, GX, and we'll bring that out. There we go. That's looking nice. We will do the same for here. Rotate, yeah, about there. That looks quite nice. Seems to be lined up. Let's rotate about there. I'm just going to kind of line it up with the previous pipe. And from here, let's just go E to extrude. Oops. Line that up. GX. There we go. GX. So the pipe is kind of the same. Nice. And what we actually might do is, rather than just ending it in a random spot, let's go E to extrude. I'm going to rotate so it's something like that, and it's going to actually go into the wing. Let's do it something like that. Rotate Z, is that correct? That's correct. So something like that. And we'll just dump it in there so it's sitting on top. So we've actually gone a little bit deep in there. Maybe we'll just fix it up. Let's just go GX, just whoops, GY, just move it back a little bit. There we go. So that's one pipe done. And I think we probably have another pipe that goes that way as well. So I'm just going to do is select everything with A, Shift D, and let's move it on the Y axis. So it's something like that. From here, I can go B to box select and middle mouse to deselect. So make sure we deselect all them. Delete vertices. Oh, I missed one. There we go. Delete vertices. And then from here, we can do what we did before. Rotate, minus. So we go this way. Rotate Z. Which way? That way. So it's facing us. G, there we go, and let's go on the y-axis. E to extrude, let's go something about there, something like that. Rotate on the z-axis. Now one thing I haven't done is any kind of like connection pieces. I don't like that. Oh, that's fine. I haven't done any connection pieces to where it's kind of being attached to the actual wing. So that might be something we could do, or we might just leave it, you know, it can be super glued on. The Empire's got super glue, I'm sure of it. So I'm just trying to line these up. There we go. Something like that. Whoops, a little bit more. Bam. All right, so we've seen how I've done these two. Let's just throw in that mirror modifier again. Boop. And on the Z, so we've got these pipes going everywhere. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pause the video and then I'm going to add in more pipes. So now we've put in all these pipes. Come to think of it, I don't even know if that actually is pipes, but let's just kind of just start building on it and adding greebles and so on and so forth. And let's maybe just develop our own version. We've got the core essentials here. They might not be 100% correct, but let's just go for it and let's just create something unique. So from here, what I'm going to do is let's just add a whole bunch of greebling just with the default cube. Well, then not the default cube, with a cube. So I'm going to first off is Shift A. Let's add in our cube. Tab to edit mode. And now we can actually have some fun. I'm going to scale that down to be about this size here, and maybe a little bit more. And I'm going to press G. Let's go add modifier. Let's add in that mirror modifier and the Z. So we can see we've got it on top and bottom. From here, what I can do is come up here into the incremental snapping settings. And we're going to change it from incremental to face. And we want the snap width to be on center. And let's add in rotate as well. So now if I were to press G, nothing happens. But if I press Control, it actually snaps to the face. However, it's not rotating, which is slightly annoying. What we need to do is come back up here and align rotation to target. Let's try that. GX. There we go. Look at that. Spicy. So let's grab this now. I'm going to hold Control, something like that. Shift D, Z. Shift D, Z. Nice. Let's Shift D on this one. Hold Control. Let's scale that in. Maybe we'll scale it on the Z axis. I'm going to do G, hold Control. Scale the wrong way. Let's go rotate Y 90 degrees, and we'll scale that on the Z, and let's scale that on the X down a little bit. G, hold Control. Why are you being difficult? Rotate Y 90 degrees. Let's scale that down a little bit. And then we can do Shift D and duplicate something like that. Control L, Shift D. Shift D on the y-axis. Go on. We're kind of lining these up. Let's deselect that. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this piece. Let's select that face there. Shift S, cursor to selected. And then when we come back into this section, we select our pieces up here. Come back into the pivot point. We'll change to the 3D cursor. Shift D, right click. Let's rotate 45 degrees. Yeah, beautiful. Shift D, rotate minus 90. And then what we can do is let's select these top three, Control L, Shift D, rotate another 45 on the minus, Shift D, rotate 180. Yeah, good enough. And so now we've kind of added these little bits of flares. Should we do that the same on the inside? Let's do the same. Why not? Let's grab, I'm just going to grab all these. Control L. Whoops. Where are we? Come on. Shift D, X. There is actually a plate that sits in here that we need to add. Didn't do that, did I? So let's maybe select this plate here. Shift D. And then we'll extrude that down, delete that inside face. Let's go here, bring that one all the way in to something like that. Maybe what we'll do as well, let's just duplicate this face, Shift D. Actually, no, we got to grab a little bit extra, that one there as well. Shift D, Y, E to extrude along the X axis, X axis, Y axis, Y. There we go. That's a little bit weird. Scale Y 0. So now that's a flat there. And then that means we can throw some greebles that'll sit in there as well. We still got a gap with this piece in here. Let's kind of grab, let's just grab it all. And we'll scale that on the X. I just brought it back, but whatevs. G, X, bring that in. Select these faces in here, select this edge loop, GX, bring that back out like so. That's not too bad. What else could we do? What else could we kind of like throw in? Let's just add in some sort of random greeble. We need to do something with this piece in here. So what can we do? Let's go back to our cubes. Let's go select that. Control L to select everything that's linked, Shift D. I'm going to scale that into medium point and scale that like so and expand it. We'll grab this face, G to the X, so it sits something like that. E to extrude, and we'll scale that in. Not too bad. Let's kind of create some maybe like bracing pieces. So what we can do now is Shift S cursor to world origin, because we're going to have everything off the center there, and then that way we can mirror X and Y. Shift A, add in a cylinder, tab, rotate X 90 degrees. There we go. We're getting there. Let's go G, bring that out. Gonna make something small like this. Let's scale that along the Y axis. From here, let's go Shift right click to put our 3D cursor there. I'm going to press Z to go into wireframe mode and select the edge face in there. Let's come into our spin tool and spin it around. I'm going to hold Control so it snaps, and E to extrude. I'm just going to push that in. What I actually might do is select this section, E to extrude, scale, Shift X. So it's kind of sits like that. And now let's do it the same for the other side. About here, let's rotate. E to extrude, select, whoa, select in there, E to extrude, right click to put that back in place, scale, Shift X. All right, so we've got this piece now. What can we do with this piece? Well, let's scale that in and let's find a nice place to put it. Let's go GX. That doesn't seem right, does it? Let's maybe affect the rotation. Let's go G and X. Okie dokie. Weird. Rotate Z 180. Oh, how annoying is this? Something like that. Let's give it a rotation like this. Rotate minus. And then we plop it in something like that. Shift D to the Y, put it about there. And what we might do is just make this a little bit different. Control B. Let's now E to extrude on that, Alt S, and we'll bring it up. Yeah, cool. That looks nice. Let's add in a few more. And Y, we'll put that one in there. Let's make this piece a little bit longer. Whoops. Let's box select that. We'll go G, Y. And what we actually might do is, so it's not all in a line, we'll bring it down to about there. And then we'll do what we did before, Control B, E to extrude, scale, Shift Y. And then we might make it over here, Control B, we can do it Control B. E to extrude, right click, scale, Shift Y, and we'll bring that in. That's kind of cool looking. And I mean, we could do as well, maybe if we go, I like the simple one, let's go Shift D. I'm going to bring it up and we'll sit it up the top here. GX, bring it in there. All the way in. Hopefully the other pieces are all the way in. Let's just check it out. They are not. So let's maybe just extrude. Whoops. Ah. Face. Nope, sorry, I got the wrong one selected. In here. E to extrude. There we go. That one there is looking fine. I mean, we could fiddle around and maybe do... We should. Let's do one more. One nice big one up the top there. Let's grab this one. Shift D. Let's rotate that brace around. I'm just going to scale it up. Dang nabbit. Something like that. But we got our pipe in the way. Let's rotate on the Z axis. G. It's very much wrong. Something like that. Rotate Z. So what we might do is, because actually I really do like this piece being here. Okay, is that still not correct? That's still not correct. So let's just rotate that around. So it's something like that. Let's grab this pipe in here. Oh wait, we've got to be careful because I've got actually two pipes. Let's go G and we'll put that in there. GY. Unfortunately, kind of like the GXX section bit that we did before doesn't work with this. All right, that's, I mean, to me that looks nice. Let's put in our mirror modifier on the X and the Z. See, that's not too bad. That's pretty suave. However, we've got like a lot of blank pieces in here, and we'll come. Let's work on that now. Actually, let's just continue working on this ship, this wing section. I'm going to Shift D to duplicate our wing, and we'll call this one wing underscore small panel. Let's go. We'll hide the main wing. Let's hide our solidify modifier so we don't see what we're doing at the moment. Is this all marked out? So let's just quickly mark it out, and I'm going to be really rough as guts on this one because we are going to be deleting a whole bunch. Something like that. I will grab this and move that over. And do we have anything here? No, we don't. Select that one. Select that one. And what we're going to be doing, yeah, we're just going to create some panels now. C, and let's go GG, bring that back down. So it's something like that. Move that down a little bit more. And then now what we'll do is we will select these panels because these are ones we want to get rid of. Let's go delete faces. And now that's left us with this section here. Now with the solidify modifier, I'm actually going to increase the size by just a small amount, and then we can come in and start making a few cuts. So for instance, one here, one here. Let's go GG, we'll move that one up. I'm going to select this section. I'm going to do Control B, and let's just delete that face there like so. We could probably come through there. Where's the edge loop here? Let's bring this one up. So we've got this piece in here, and then we'll bring that there. And then what I'm going to do is just delete these pieces. Actually, we'll just select all that like so. Delete faces. I'm going to put in here as well, C, delete faces. Now, why am I doing that? So I'll just show you what we're actually doing at the moment. If I now do Alt H to unhide, we should see our small panels, but we don't. Why don't we see our small panels? Is it not big enough? If I increase the size, because I've got it hidden. Silly Marco. Let's go back down to 0.03. And now you can see that we're kind of creating these panels that are sitting on the wing. This is just going to kind of give us a little bit more definition. So I'll pause the video. I'm going to do a few more and then we'll go from there as well. Actually, I'll just quickly show you one of my favorite ways of creating panels. So I'm going to have this kind of edge in there, Control B. Let's put an edge loop through here. And then let's grab this section on the scale on the Y. And then what I can do is just delete this face. And now we've kind of got this cool cutout of a panel. Let's do Control B. Where am I? I don't even see. Control B. Let's just delete that face. Nice. What I will do is get rid of anything on the edge. So for instance, let's get rid of, oops, we'll put another edge loop through there. That way I can get rid of this and this. And then that way we don't have any kind of like artifacts sitting on the edge like we've got here. So let's put an edge loop through there, delete vertice, nice. And I mean, you can see already how much extra that's given the ship. So let's continue on. Might as well just do this really quick, delete faces, and then we might do another one in here, but this one, let's go GG, Control B. Whoa, delete faces. Nice, how cool does that look? That actually looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. A few more, delete faces. What we might do is, this is a really cool technique, and I learned this from Josh Gambrell from doing his SciFi course, is if you want to bevel a vertice, Control Shift B, and that bevels that. Oh my goodness. What I would normally do is kind of like extrude, then bevel, and then delete that face that I extruded, but now I don't have to. So that's a really cool tip that I learned from actually doing his course. Even though I've been doing this for a while, it's still good to learn some skills. If you really wanted some in-depth courses, there is obviously Josh's that you can do. But one I found as well is Chris Kuhn. Oh my goodness, I hate that guy so much because he's so talented. But he's got an amazing course. And we've got a bit of an issue here. I'm going to select this edge and I'm just going to GG and bring that down. And let's select this edge here and go GG and just bring that around. There we go. Yeah. So to me, that looks quite nice. I don't really want to be doing too much more work. Let's maybe give this a little bit of definition. I'm going to select here, Control B to do a bevel. Let's select this section, Alt S, and kind of scale that down. Unfortunately, now that has exposed a little bit of our work. So let's just move it up to something like that. And that'll continue to hide a bit of our stuff whilst still adding to that overall element. So I mean, from afar, that's looking pretty schmick. Spicy. So let's leave it here on modeling the wings. And then in the next part, we'll jump in and do a little bit more in here. And I think we actually might come in and add a little bit more greebling on the outside here. The next video will be out on Friday. So once again, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. You can download this ship in the link in the description.